A headhunter working in a recruitment agency is similar to that of a salesperson. They perform business to business sales, and the product that they sell is you, the job seeker. Employers which are hiring for talent sometimes find it hard to source for it on their own. So they engage an external headhunter in a recruitment agency to help them do the work. These headhunters then help employers find talent through various job sourcing platforms. When a suitable talent is found and hired by the employer, the headhunter is then paid by the employer for their service. We see headhunters as job matching experts, and we go to them because they seem to have a wide number of jobs available from various companies that they serve. Job seekers believe that this increases their chances of landing a job. But there are four reasons as to why we should not quite trust headhunters. Headhunters are paid by employers to find them talent. They don't work for job seekers, and as a consequence, they don't owe job seekers much. A typical recruiting fee is about 25% of the candidate's first year compensation. If Amy accepts a job offer for 90K, the headhunter earns 22.5K on the deal. If the headhunter works for a recruitment firm rather than for him or herself, he or she may have to split that 22.5K fee with his or her boss. Hence, if a headhunter is fortunate enough to make a 90K placement every month, he or she can make a good living on $11,000 per month. A headhunter's main motivation is filling the role so that they can get compensated for it. When their product cannot be sold, we can understand why a recruiter would be dismissive with a job seeker he or she didn't feel could be easily and quickly placed in a job. Headhunters have a bad reputation, and let's be honest about it. Just like used car salespeople, insurance agents, and attorneys, that bad reputation was earned. Nearly every job seeker has a story about being spurned, mistreated, dissed, or ignored by a recruiter. While it seems that recruiters have a wide number of roles to place candidates in, that may not necessarily be the case. If an employer could fill the jobs on their own, why would they need to pay a headhunter? This means that employers usually only give headhunters position openings that are really difficult to find. And they are difficult to find mainly because of the niche skill set required. Otherwise, it could be because that the role is unattractive in terms of its compensation package, or it may require a person to work in harsh environmental settings at work. In other words, many of these roles are those that are leftovers, and they have probably been posted online by the employer multiple times before. As the employer had failed to find talent on their own, they then look to recruiters for help. However, recruiters do also at times have positions that have not been posted online by the employer as well. Some employers who have enough budget for positions that are easy to find may decide to just give their business to the recruiter. So, as a job seeker, you should not place all your hopes on a headhunter to find you a job, but you have to source for one on your own as well. As we have said earlier, a headhunter's main motivation is filling the role for the employer so that they can get compensated. Headhunters will only tell you the positive aspects of a job, and they will unlikely cover the negative aspects of it. This is because when a potential candidate is offered a role, their job is to convince them to take it up. Job seekers need to be aware to take the things headhunters say with a pinch of salt. When it comes to making a career move, you should focus on the package that is offered and whether or not you feel is the right move for you. Many job seekers have been persuaded by headhunters to take up jobs that don't quite suit their interests. However, this does not mean that every headhunter is a rapacious villain. There are still plenty of ethical and hardworking search partners who put brilliant job seekers together with forward looking hiring managers every day. Because if they didn't, the third party recruiting world would cease to exist. Many employers will continue to source for candidates on their own while headhunters help alongside them. Candidate A was sourced by a headhunter, while candidate B was found directly by the employer. In a scenario that we have candidate A and B competing for the same job, and both candidates performed equally well during the interview, the employer will likely choose to offer the job to candidate B. This is because by hiring candidate B, the employer does not have to pay the hefty recruiting fees. My advice is to always try your best to get into a company directly through the employer. You can look for headhunters when you have run out of options. In conclusion, even though headhunters have their setbacks, they still play an important role in the recruiting industry. They act as a good support to bridging the gap between job seekers and employers. Just be careful. If you feel that a headhunter is pressuring you to take up a role, be objective in your decision and always weigh the pros and cons of your options before taking up a new job.